The much-anticipated high-stakes meeting between the leaders of Japan, India, Australia and the United States is underway in Tokyo. The Indian Prime Minister, the American President and also the newly elected Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese were all welcomed by host Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida. Now, the leaders posed for a photo op before their opening remarks, where all leaders vowed to stand together for a free and an open Indo-Pacific region.
क्वाड समूह ने विश्व पटल पर एक महत्वपूर्ण स्थान बना लिया है। आज क्वाड का स्कोप व्यापक हो गया है और स्वरूप प्रभावी हो गया है। हमारा आपसी विश्वास, हमारा डिटर्मिनेशन लोकतांत्रिक शक्तियों को नई ऊर्जा और उत्साह दे रहा है। क्वाड के स्तर पर हमारे आपसी सहयोग से एक फ्री, ओपन और इंक्लूसिव इंडो पैसिफिक क्षेत्र को प्रोत्साहन मिल रहा है, जो हम सभी का साझा उद्देश्य है।
The United States must and will be strong, steady, and enduring partner in the Indo-Pacific. We are an Indo-Pacific power. I was once asked by, well, I won't go into it, but I was once asked by the leader of China why I kept talking about being an Indo-Pacific power. I said, because we are. We share the Pacific, one entire side of our country. And we have been deeply involved with all of you for a long time.
Russia's invasion of Ukraine and also the fallout of the ongoing situation also found very prominent mention in the leaders' remarks. President Biden said that the crisis in Ukraine is a global issue and not just a regional one. Climate change was also on the agenda. The Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese pledged that his country will attain net zero emissions by the year 2050.
We will act in recognition that climate change is the main economic and security challenge for the island countries of the Pacific. Under my government, Australia will set a new target to reduce emissions by 43% by 2030, putting us on track for net zero by 2050.
All right, now to give us more insights in terms of what this Quad meeting between the four leaders, of course, means, we're joined in by Irina Sukuman, who's joining us live from New York. She's a security analyst and also CEO of Scarb Rising Incorporation. Now, Ms. Sukuman, thank you very much indeed for taking time out and speaking to WION. Now, this, of course, is an important gathering that is taking place in Tokyo as we speak. The four leaders of India, United States, Australia and Japan are, of course, meeting for the Quad Summit. How significant do you think is this Quad Summit, especially in the context of what is happening in Ukraine?
I think the alliance has a very good opportunity to come together to resolve common issues. My concern, however, is that the Quad alliance, which is primarily a defense alliance and primarily its focus on China, may be distracted by a number of separate issues. There is also the consideration of India, which has a very strong relation with Russia. Prime Minister Modi and President Biden are supposed to engage in an open discussion with regards to resolving this crisis. In the meantime, India is playing a major role as a wheat supplier. Russia and Ukraine are both countries that have provided many of the developing countries in the world with wheat. As a result of the war, that supply has been disrupted, and India has stepped forward in that regard, but is also facing its own internal challenges.
Absolutely, indeed. Now, just before the Quad Summit, the American President Joe Biden made an interesting statement where he said that America is willing to militarily defend Taiwan if China were to invade into Taiwan. You know, we saw what happened in the case of Ukraine, where the United States did not want to get into a direct confrontation with Russia and therefore did not want to get directly involved in Ukraine. Do you think the United States has an appetite to get directly involved in a military conflict with China if it were to invade into Taiwan?
I think part of the reason President Biden felt comfortable making that statement is because he does not believe that China will enter into a military conflict with Taiwan anytime during his tenure, and probably not in the next few years. By all assessments, China has been very careful in projecting power, but at the same time, not making decisions that could be misconstrued as heated or extremely radical at the moment. I think it has learned its lesson from the situation with Ukraine and wishes to be prepared on all levels. Furthermore, President Biden's comments were walked back by his staffers almost immediately after he said them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much indeed, Ms. Irina Sukuman, for joining us from New York and getting us all those insights. This, of course, is a crucial summit that is presently underway, and it will be very interesting to see as to how this, of course, unfolds. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.